What's going on, guys? There's never enough time in the day, but I had to put this out because it's definitely long overdue. We got the B1 with the jetpack installed and the FW11. Want to give you guys some close-ups on the FW11, how I did that. The plates, I just need to, everything's just been so busy, but I just, I'll get them on the site here eventually, but let you guys check this out. This is a little wire feed welder, nothing crazy, little flux core. Not a professional by any means. You guys can eat me up here. I'm waiting on Moto right now. They're taking care of me. I put this thing over the bars and snapped one of the pegs off. So this is a razor. We didn't want us to quit riding, so you guys know how it is. You do what you gotta do. But seeing how this is, I mean, obviously the grind, paint, all that shit, but you can see it's a 1/4 inch plate on both sides, and then you have the because you have this little, how the motor sits. Like, my shit's all dirty, I'm sorry guys, but, and then obviously this plate I just threw in there, tacked in real quick. This is all, I'm always just testing and doing shit, so it's all, this bike's been apart 1,000 times. And then, because I gotta throw it back together for my son to ride it, or either me to ride it, or whatever, but it takes whatever I've thrown at it. Definitely a good bike. I mean, it's based off a KTM frame. If you guys can't tell, I mean, some of the guys have put Husky or KTM graphics on them already from a 65 or 50, cut them down. I mean, it's you know, very little work to get that to get those graphics to fit. Just depends on where you get them, I guess. But and we'll come around the back here. Like I said, don't pay attention, it's dirty as fuck. But and see, how I did these mounts is it's that 1/4 inch plate on each side, and then it literally is, I welded these in after a while. I was just like, fuck it, it ain't ever coming out. This is how this bike will stay forever. It's not gonna need to change. But the mounts from underneath, you'll just put bolts in, because it has mounting holes underneath on these sides, and it's been really strong. It's held up really well. Even before I welded this plate to the frame here, everything was, because that was like more recent, if anything. That looks like shit on camera. I promise if I clean this up, it would look a lot better. But either way, I mean, and I took a bunch of the screws out so I could pull the whole bike apart. Let's see here, without having to take the tailpiece off. That is the only part that gets me. So I took these 4 screws out here, and after you take out the slide for the seat where it slides in, and I have this unplugged already, but we'll let you check out. So I got display here, that just pops off, wireless display. I've had this one on throttle forever, so I've just kept this going. It's been great for testing. It's what a lot of people use. It's just you got to make sure you get a good one. There are some replicas out there, I've heard. I haven't had the bad luck yet, but okay. So on this, I still got my old lug set on there. That's funny. All right, either way, but that's what I wanted to show you guys. The power button, obviously, this is a latching switch, normally open. And it's actually a click button switch, kind of like what the Flipskis have. You can use that, or key voltmeter. And then this is the other cool thing, though, that I kind of threw together, and it's been working really well. For Vest users, it'll be a simpler way to do things, to get speed levels, I guess, or torque levels. I took it's called a single pole double throw switch, where I tell you what, I have something over here that you'll think this is cool too. On the truck. All right, so the surround switch, you know, the Sport Eco, it's usually just you'll see them online for sale. They're on off, but it just connects the circuit. But I took it apart and took the internals out, and you'll see here, you might be able to see down in there if I can hold it right with the camera. but it would just make that those two circuits connect. Well, I moved some pieces around and got it to now where it is a single pole double throw, so it'll go from one to the other and not touch. So you have your signal, your throttle signal, coming in through that red, the middle, and it can be split either into one line this way, or in sport, go over through the green line. So it will change the direction. Let me grab this. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then the dial, which I led it into a potentiometer. This is the stock B1 potentiometer. You can use one of those. It's a, what is it? 10K ohm, 2-watt potentiometer. And how I set it with the VESC is I'll do a video on that because I'll include the VESC and everything. But really simple, really cool. The wiring looks, if you don't mess with wiring, it can look intimidating. Me trying to fit this in, this glue looks like shit right here, but there's my SPDT switch, the signal going in here, me choosing which way it's going, and that's just an end line that goes into the throttle, into the potentiometer. And I've put all these connections on them so that way it can just snap in, so you can use it with your existing throttle, and it's just going in line between the throttle and the VESC. All right, so pretty cool, but I'll show you how that all works later. Jetpack installed with my shitty lugs here. I don't know why I have that on there like that, but you never know. Bluetooth dongle, I just got that kind of tucked up in there. And see this, because the harness, it's all braided. And I should have just pulled the whole thing off, but either way, this gives a good enough view. That coming down there, that's the harness that I make for all the jetpacks. And I mean, it definitely takes some time, but they're braided, they're crimped, soldered, glued. I mean, I definitely want to make them to last for you guys. Maker X has been awesome about, giving us the things that we need as far as like the actual latching switch versus some of the old ways. I think with some of the newer software, they've made it to where it can work either way. And I'm all for do it yourself. That's not what this is about at all, but ordering those in small batches, I'm not getting that much of a discount. So, and then having to, get them, ship them to there's things involved. So I'm trying to make everything as cheap as I can. And it's been a game that I have to play back and forth, just like we did with the Mori batteries, just like we did with Sotion with the motors. And top power, you'll see here pretty soon too. There's another 5-pole motor. Yeah, I'll do another video on that, so I'm not taking up all your time. But this is it, man. This is the bike that literally, with this setup, it'll last for as long as you take care of it. I mean, you lube the chain. I'm on my second set T8F here with this, but I beat the shit out of it. I mean, I push, peak out at 23 kilowatts with this thing. Now that will vary for everyone because it's, each build's different, weight's different, resistance is different, all through and through. But as far as something that will actually hold up and take the beating, it's a good little bike, man. I love it. I love it more than all. I mean, I have a Suron. I have, you guys have seen some of the other Razor builds that I've done. But as far as, getting something out of the box that you can throw this setup in, and even not, if you throw this with the B1 motor or even a flip ski, they're awesome as well. I mean, out of the box. But if you got some a little bit of time and know-how, you can get that Sotion in there, and it's really easy. I mean, you guys see, it's dirty as shit, but you guys see where it's at. I promise those welds look better in fucking person. It's just that I need to get in there and grind on it a little bit more. It looks like shit on that side, honestly, but it's still a little chilly out this way. But I had a free minute, so I wanted to get out and just kind of catch up with you guys and show you what it was about and how she actually fit in there. We'll be getting those plates out here pretty soon. It's very simple. It's just a 1/4 inch plate, about 1.5 inches wide, and then you have two 90mm holes, and then you're going to be the plates, how they'll come is they'll have 2 other holes that are right here. So that way you can bolt this plate to the motor and then bolt this plate to an existing spot. I don't have the stock B1 tray anymore. I just knocked that out because this allowed me to, having a little flat tray welded in, allowed just where the motor placement, like how it, for lining up, it's some, you know, I've heard this and that about, you know, raising. This has been fucking awesome. It's I don't know, I've gotten lucky a lot, but you know, I've done a lot of these things too, so it's just kind of, you get a feel for something after a while, and yeah. So I hope you guys like the setup. If you want something like this, definitely check out E-Force. We're trying to, you know, get things out. Vesk is definitely a more costly thing to get into, but we're knocking them down, you know, little by little. We're bringing down prices on all this shit. It takes time, and it's a game we have to play. So I appreciate it, guys.